Let's get to our political editor, Andrew Clennell. He was there at the media conference with Anthony Albanese. We had minister after minister say the choice is clear when it comes to housing. Is it clear to voters, do you think, this morning, though, Andrew?
Well, the choice is clear, I reckon, Laura. You can have higher house prices or you can have higher house prices. That's the choice. You can have higher house prices, debt and deficits, no matter who you vote for. And it's quite extraordinary to see such strident criticism from all sorts of economists to both sides' major policies that were released yesterday. The politicians obviously don't care about that. They only care if people will vote for them because of some of these policies, which will no doubt be popular. But questioning Anthony Albanese here about the crazy median house prices around Australia now for first home buyers, he basically confirmed prices will rise. Have a listen. The median house price in Sydney is an eye-watering $1.4 million. In Brisbane and Adelaide, where you used to be able to move for a cheaper house, it's close to $1 million. Do you want that median house price to drop? You say your policy's about supply. Do you want that median house price to drop?
Look, historically in Australia, you've been around a while, Andrew, prices tend to rise. What we want to do is to make sure that people have accessibility for home ownership. What we want to do is to take away the disincentive which is there where people just can't get a deposit. Now, when I bought my first home, you didn't need a 20% deposit. What's happened is a range of changes, particularly arising out of the GFC, that occurred to have that 20% deposit. And what we're doing in allowing for a 5% deposit with the government going guarantee is making sure that people don't have to wait. So it means they get into that home ownership earlier.
Huge then, aren't they?
They get
$1 million house.
No.
Yeah, it's all about supply and demand. I think people are going to vote with what suits them. If you're a first home buyer, you get to write this off your mortgage, perhaps off your income tax, claim it against tax. Perhaps the coalition can convince some young people to vote for him and the coalition. But news poll just shows that the campaign has boosted Labor's stocks, really. The coalition losing off their primary again today, Andrew.
Yeah, and they got crowded out in the launch yesterday. But Peter Dutton was just moving from theme to theme, from policy to policy in the first couple of weeks. Albanese's been pretty consistently on health. And they've just been slicker in their messaging, more consistent in their messaging for people who aren't engaged. I mean, it was funny to hear the Prime Minister, Laura, there talk about kids at school if you're watching. It's school holidays, most places, I've got to say. But that's another reason why people are disengaged in this election campaign.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, really there's an argument Peter Dutton should have been releasing policies if he was so confident of them 4 months ago and selling them for 4 or 5 months. And if he loses, that'll be a big reason why. We'll have Donald Trump in there as well. We'll have Australians not wanting to vote out a first-term government. There's all that at play. And we'll have the government suite of policies, various tax cuts, tax deductions, everything they're throwing at the kitchen sink, really. But ultimately, I'm not sure the opposition has made the right play here. Peter Dutton's been convinced that people only engage in the last couple of weeks. Well, guess what? The last couple of weeks are Easter and school holidays and Anzac Day. So good luck getting people to engage then. So, look, long way to go. It's close enough if he's good enough, but is he good enough?
Yeah, we'll see. And you say he got crowded out yesterday. If you could just expand on that, because, yeah, both the major party campaign launches were yesterday on a Sunday. I don't think in a modern campaign, I'm not sure if or why that still makes sense. But I do find some of the behind-the-scenes stuff pretty interesting. A lot is being made of this footage this morning, the air kiss between Anthony Albanese and Tanya Plibersek. She's come out and said this morning that it was all down to hygiene. This is how Albo explained it this morning.
Tanya Plibersek this morning said the pair of you were buddies. She said she didn't lean in for a kiss because she was worried about a cold. But separate to that, given you've stepped in a few times to supersede her on issues in her portfolio, like Tassie salmon farming, will you commit to keeping Ms Plibersek in the environment portfolio for the next 3 years, assuming you were re-elected?
You know what I'll commit to? Trying to win this election. I don't assume, you might. I do not assume. Tanya Plibersek has been a friend of mine for a long period of time. We live in neighbouring seats. We're good mates, and she's doing a fantastic job. She's doing a fantastic job.
What did you make of that, Andrew?
2 minutes. I'm just telling them to hold the bus for 2 minutes. Sorry, Laura.
Good. I'm glad you're throwing your weight around there,
I'm
Andrew.
actually
You've
serious.
got every right to.
They're threatening to leave without us. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to have to wrap this up shortly. What I will say is that if a woman leans in for a hug, you should probably hug her. And I noticed it live. That's how awkward it was. And I'd be surprised if Tanya Plibersek's Environment Minister after the election, if he wins, because he's got issues in WA with the North West Shelf and nature-positive laws. So I just think he'll want to refresh there. But what is interesting, given she hasn't really been part of the campaign, she was right in that front row. They clearly see her as an asset, particularly with women. So Anthony Albanese and Tanya Plibersek not always getting on over her portfolio. He's not even prepared to hug her, but he is prepared to use her in a campaign launch, Laura.
All right.
And I better go.
We want to see you run to the bus, Andrew. See you soon.
Well, I'm not going to do that, but anyway.
Okay. Bye.